Good morning, everyone. Imagine this: you're standing at the edge of your potential, staring at a vast, uncharted landscape. It's both thrilling and intimidating because the terrain ahead is filled with challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty. But it's also where growth lies, waiting to be claimed. The difference between stepping forward or staying stuck comes down to one thing: your mindset. A growth mindset isn't just a motivational buzzword. It's a scientifically grounded approach to how we view challenges, setbacks, and success. It's the belief that abilities are not fixed traits but are malleable, like a muscle that strengthens with effort. This mindset isn't reserved for the naturally talented or the lucky few. It's a skill anyone can master, and today we're going to explore how. We'll uncover how your brain is wired for growth, how your actions shape your beliefs, and how you can cultivate habits that turn obstacles into opportunities. This isn't about wishful thinking, it's about understanding the science, embracing the process, and taking actionable steps toward becoming the best version of yourself. Let's embark on this journey together, because the truth is, mastering a growth mindset isn't just about achieving more, it's about becoming more. The idea of personal growth is often romanticized as a journey of discovery or a path to self-fulfillment. But beneath the surface lies a fascinating, evidence-based truth. Growth is not just a matter of willpower or desire, it's deeply rooted in the biology of your brain. At the heart of this process is neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself in response to learning, experience, and effort. Understanding this mechanism can change the way you approach challenges and failures, unlocking your potential to achieve far beyond what you might currently believe is possible. Neuroplasticity is your brain's capacity to adapt and evolve. Every time you encounter something new, whether it's a skill, a concept, or a problem, your brain activates specific neural pathways. With repetition and effort, these pathways become stronger, just like muscles do when exercised. This means that the very act of engaging with difficulty, of trying and failing, is laying the groundwork for future success. The more you challenge yourself, the more efficient your brain becomes at handling similar tasks. But there's a catch: growth doesn't happen in comfort. When you stick to what's easy or familiar, your brain has no reason to adapt. This is why challenges and failures are critical. They provide the friction that sparks change. In fact, research shows that when you make mistakes, your brain generates an error signal that triggers learning. These moments, as frustrating as they might feel, are the raw material for growth. This concept also explains why effort is so powerful. Far too often, people equate talent or intelligence with fixed traits, assuming that success comes naturally to some and not to others. But neuroscience tells a different story. Talent might give you a starting advantage, but effort determines how far you go. Every hour spent practicing, every problem you attempt to solve, is reshaping your brain in ways that compound over time. One of the most transformative aspects of neuroplasticity is its ability to override limiting beliefs. Many of us carry narratives about ourselves that stem from past experiences: I'm not good at math, I'm not creative, or I can't lead. These statements are not facts, they're interpretations of past events that your brain has learned to reinforce. The good news is that you can unlearn them. When you challenge these beliefs by taking small, deliberate actions that contradict them, your brain begins to build new pathways. Over time, those actions turn into evidence and the beliefs start to shift. Take, for example, the experience of learning a new skill. At first, it feels awkward and uncomfortable, and progress may seem painfully slow. This is the phase where many people give up, interpreting the discomfort as evidence that they're not naturally good at it. But if you persist, something remarkable happens. Your brain starts to automate the skill, requiring less conscious effort. What once felt impossible becomes second nature, and the initial discomfort fades into confidence. This process is not just psychological, it's physiological, a direct result of your brain's adaptability. Another critical factor in rewiring your brain for growth is the role of focus and intention. Your brain is bombarded with information every second, but it can only process a fraction of it. When you direct your attention to a specific goal or challenge, you're essentially telling your brain, this matters, prioritize it. This focus activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine when you make progress. Dopamine doesn't just make you feel good, it reinforces the neural pathways associated with the activity, making it more likely that you'll continue to pursue it. But growth doesn't happen in isolation. The environment you create around yourself plays a pivotal role. If you surround yourself with people who challenge you, encourage you, and model a growth-oriented approach, your brain picks up on those cues. Similarly, exposing yourself to new experiences, ideas, and perspectives keeps your brain in a state of curiosity and openness. On the flip side, environments that reinforce stagnation, whether through negativity, complacency, or a fixed mindset, can stifle growth. It's also important to embrace the concept of deliberate rest. While effort is essential, rest is where much of the actual rewiring happens. When you sleep, for instance, your brain consolidates memories, strengthens neural connections, and clears out waste products that accumulate during the day. This is why high performers in any field emphasize the balance between intense focus and restorative downtime. Ultimately, rewiring your brain for success requires a mindset that welcomes challenges, sees failures as stepping stones, and prioritizes consistent effort over perfection. It's about recognizing that every setback is an opportunity to learn, every obstacle a chance to grow. When you internalize this, you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as an essential part of the process. The science of growth isn't abstract or inaccessible, it's happening in your brain every day. By understanding how it works and aligning your actions with these principles, you can unlock a level of potential that goes beyond what you once thought possible. Growth is not a gift, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be mastered with intention, effort, and the willingness to embrace the process. Beliefs are often seen as the foundation of who we are, our guiding principles, deeply ingrained truths about ourselves and the world around us. But what if beliefs don't form as unchanging certainties from within? What if they are instead shaped and reshaped by what we do? The power of action lies in its ability to influence, even transform, our beliefs. It is through consistent behavior that we redefine what we believe about our capabilities, our worth, and our potential. At the core of this concept is the understanding that action precedes belief. Most of us have experienced moments when we felt paralyzed by doubt or uncertainty, waiting to feel confident before taking the next step. But confidence isn't the prerequisite for action, it's often the result. When you take a step forward, no matter how small, you create evidence for yourself, proof that you can move, try, and make progress. This evidence, repeated over time, becomes the foundation of belief. In essence, what you do shapes what you think you can do. Consider someone who believes they are bad at public speaking. They avoid speaking opportunities because of this belief, which in turn reinforces their fear and self-doubt. But if they choose to step onto a stage, even with shaky hands and a racing heart, they begin to challenge that belief. The experience might not be perfect, but it's an action that plants a seed of doubt in their assumption, maybe I'm not as bad at this as I thought. With each subsequent attempt, their actions build a new narrative, one of competence and growth. The relationship between action and belief is deeply tied to the brain's ability to adapt. When you engage in a behavior, especially one that feels challenging or uncomfortable, your brain registers the effort and begins to create new neural connections. This process, known as neuroplasticity, is the physiological basis for growth and change. With repetition, those neural connections strengthen, making the behavior feel more natural and less daunting. Over time, the act of doing rewires the brain in a way that aligns belief with action. Habits play a crucial role in this process. Habits are repeated behaviors that over time shape not just what we do, but who we believe ourselves to be. A person who consistently goes for a run, even on days when they don't feel motivated, begins to see themselves as a runner. Their identity evolves not because they believe they were a runner from the start, but because their actions aligned with that identity until it became a part of their self-concept. This feedback loop between action and belief is powerful. Actions inform identity, and identity motivates further actions. What's remarkable is that this process doesn't require dramatic gestures. Small, consistent actions often have the greatest impact on beliefs. When someone commits to writing a paragraph a day, they begin to see themselves as a writer. When they choose to speak up in a meeting, even if it's just to share one idea, they start to believe in their ability to contribute. These incremental efforts compound, creating a new narrative of capability. But what about failure? Isn't failure proof that our beliefs about our limitations are valid? On the contrary, failure is one of the most potent catalysts for growth if we reframe it. When you fail and choose to act again, you're sending a powerful message to yourself: I'm not defined by this outcome. This resilience not only reinforces the belief that effort matters, but also shifts the focus from perfection to progress. Overcoming failure through action creates a sense of agency, the understanding that you have control over your growth and success. The power of action extends beyond individual pursuits. It influences how we connect with others and the opportunities we create for ourselves. A person who takes the initiative to network or share their ideas opens doors that might have otherwise remained closed. These actions build confidence, and confidence, in turn, builds belief in one's ability to create meaningful relationships and achieve goals. This cycle of action, reinforcement, and belief can transform not just personal aspirations, but entire careers and communities. It's important to recognize that action requires courage, especially in the face of uncertainty. The initial steps might feel awkward, uncomfortable, or even futile. But every meaningful transformation begins with imperfect action. Waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan often leads to inertia. By acting now, even in small ways, you disrupt the cycle of doubt and replace it with momentum. This momentum, once established, becomes self-sustaining as each action builds upon the last. Ultimately, the power of action lies in its ability to shape who we are. Beliefs are not static, they are malleable, molded by what we consistently do. When we choose to act, even when we're unsure, even when we're afraid, we take control of the narrative. We stop being passive observers of our potential and become active participants in our growth. Through action, we create evidence of our capabilities, rewrite limiting beliefs, and step into a version of ourselves we might not have thought possible. In the end, it's not what we think that defines us, it's what we do. In mastering a growth mindset, we uncover the profound truth that our potential is not determined by innate talent or fixed abilities, but by our willingness to embrace challenges, persist through setbacks, and take deliberate action. The science of neuroplasticity shows us that our brains are designed to adapt and evolve, while our behaviors shape not only our skills but also our beliefs about who we are and what we can achieve. This journey is not about perfection, but about progress, choosing courage over comfort, curiosity over complacency, and effort over ease. Every step forward, no matter how small, reinforces a new narrative, one where failure becomes a teacher, effort becomes a skill, and growth becomes a way of life. As you leave here today, remember that the power to grow and succeed is already within you. It doesn't lie in waiting for the perfect moment or feeling ready. It lies in the actions you choose to take, starting now. So I challenge you to take one bold step today, no matter how uncertain it feels. Trust in the process, because in every action lies the seed of transformation. Thank you, and may your journey be one of relentless growth and endless possibility.